Sometimes Hollywood doesn't make bad movies. Sometimes it simply never makes the good ones. Imagine owning the rights to one of Britain's most beloved sci-fi sagas, a story with giant alien machines, a brilliant premise, three fantastic books, and a ready-made fanbase. But instead of making it, you leave it rotting on a shelf for nearly 30 years. Talk about a missed opportunity. Today we're looking at The Tripods and why one of sci-fi's most promising adaptations never escaped development hell. If you watched TV in the 80s, there's a good chance you remember The Tripods. Those massive three-legged machines were unforgettable, but the real genius of the story wasn't the machines, it was the idea behind them. The original books asked a terrifyingly simple question. What if humanity wasn't conquered by force, but by control? In this world, every teenager is forced to wear a device called the cap. Once it's fitted, curiosity dies, ambition disappears, independent thought is wiped out. People don't even realise they've lost their freedom. It is a genuinely disturbing idea. And decades before The Hunger Games or Divergent hit the mainstream, this story was already there. In 1984, the BBC turned the books into a massive sci-fi event. For British TV at the time, it was a huge gamble. Location shoots, miniatures, special effects, huge mechanical tripods. It wasn't perfect, but it had incredible atmosphere. Those tripods didn't need to sprint around blasting lasers every 5 seconds. They moved slowly, deliberately, almost as if they knew resistance was pointless. The BBC adapted the first 2 books, then cancelled the show right before the third. Just like that, the story ended without an ending, and for fans, it was infuriating. Then came what looked like the ultimate breakthrough. Disney bought the film rights. At first, it sounded perfect. A powerhouse Hollywood studio, massive budgets, cutting-edge special effects. Surely the tripods were finally coming back. Except, buying the rights is one thing. Actually making the movie, that is something else entirely. Welcome to development hell. Development hell sounds dramatic, but it's surprisingly common. A studio buys a property, writers are hired, scripts are written, directors come and go, meetings happen, ideas change, and years pass, and eventually nothing. That is exactly what happened here. Over the years, big-name filmmakers like Gregor Jordan and later Alex Proyas, the director of The Crow, joined the project. New scripts were written, fresh ideas were explored, fans got their hopes up, and then silence again. Now, we don't know the exact details of what happened behind closed doors, but we can make some highly educated guesses. The visual effects would have been expensive. The books weren't a household name for younger audiences, and Hollywood doesn't just ask, is this a great story? They ask, will enough people buy tickets? And those two questions don't always have the same answer. And here's the ultimate irony. Hollywood spent years hunting for the next big dystopian hit, and yet they were sitting right on top of one. The tripods pioneered themes of control, conformity, and freedom decades before the massive hits that followed. But by the time studios were frantically chasing the Hunger Games, the tripods somehow looked like the copycat, despite getting there first. It's just Hollywood being Hollywood. But I still think this could work today. 3 seasons, 1 book per season, no unnecessary changes, no trying to turn it into another noisy, generic action movie. Just trust the source material. Give us modern visual effects, strong world building, and that eerie, haunting atmosphere that made the BBC series so memorable. And, best of all, we'd finally get to see the Pool of Fire on screen. After 40 years of waiting, that's an ending I would definitely watch tomorrow. So, why hasn't it happened? Probably because timing, budgets, shifting priorities, and the harsh realities of Hollywood all collided at the absolute wrong moment, and that is the frustrating part. The tripods didn't disappear because it was a bad idea, it disappeared because the business got in the way, and in Hollywood that's often the saddest story of all. But what do you think? Did you watch the tripods back in the 80s? Have you read John Christopher's books? And if those film rights became available tomorrow, which studio would you trust to actually do them justice? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this look at another piece of Hollywood nonsense, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with anyone else who remembers those unforgettable machines, because sometimes the most fascinating stories aren't the ones we see on screen. They're the ones that never make it there. Some stories never get finished, not because they failed, but because Hollywood never let them begin again.